What's up, team? It's Santa Claus. No, it's just Sean from Invest to Live. I tried to grow the beard out in time, but I didn't quite make it. And I've got a quick stocking stuffer for you today to really talk about both sort of horizontal growth as well as vertical integration within the markets and how I think about my investment thesis in looking at big scale opportunities. I was thinking about what company would be great to use here, and there were so many I could have chosen from, whether it's things like Amazon and all of their components. I could have looked at Microsoft. There's major food ownership networks. There's J&J. There's 3M. But there's one that stood out to me, and the timing is right because there's been so much talk around it. And I really want to key in on Tesla. I'm not going to talk about all the different pieces. This is going to be a quick video, but I really wanted to explain the way I approach horizontal and vertical integrations because I think it's very important for an investment thesis that if you can at least start with a scale and an ecosystem, you can really start to see what the big picture could look like. Doesn't mean it's a good investment. Doesn't mean you should invest in it. It's just one of those ways I like to think about the big things that could happen. Now, if you hear all of this and you think, I disagree with all of it, that's great too. You can always go short. You can have puts. You can make whatever decision you want on any investment that you want. But for me, this is a great example because I think people are very familiar with what it is, who it is, what they are, all those kind of great things. So let's talk first about this idea of horizontal growth and scale. So for Tesla, it's pretty simple. They have EV cars, right? That's what they're known for. That's sort of their core business for now. And when people think about Tesla, they might think about, a Model S or maybe a Model 3. Maybe some people think about the SUVs, but they also are coming out with the Cybertruck for a slightly different audience, right? Maybe folks who need a little bit of a bed on the back of their vehicle for work. They're also coming out with the Semi, or have already come out with it, I guess I should say, which is starting to look like it could be a replacement for traditional gas-driven semis, okay? So that's sort of a horizontal approach to different types of vehicles for different types of markets for different types of uses, right? So we're getting horizontal across the car space, the automotive space, the delivery space there, okay? Now, let's think about vertical integration. We, of course, know that they sell cars, but they also manufacture the cars. Let's take a step back. They manufacture the components or have relationships to do that with the cars. Well, let's take a step back. They're building the factories to actually build, manufacture, and deliver those cars. Well, let's take a step back. They have to build and supply the batteries. Okay, well, let's take a step back again. We're still vertically integrated. They are now building a refining facility for lithium to further increase the rate at which they can build those batteries, put them in the cars, put the cars in the public, et cetera, et cetera. They're even looking at relationships as far as acquiring, accessing, and mining for those materials, right? That's really the depth of integration from a vertical perspective. Now, the other side of the vertical perspective is they don't just sell the cars, they're looking to do upgrades to the cars, right? Cross-sell and upsell from a sales perspective. They're trying to get you into new models. They want to make sure they can do the repairs, the warranty work, but there's also new features and functions, things like FSD. How do they make that better, right? So you can see that no matter what direction we're going in, front to back, side to side, in and out, there's lots of things going on just around this key component of building a car and manufacturing and selling it. Lots of different ways to think about that. But then you step back again, you say, okay, well, I've got vertical, I've got horizontal. I like to think about this in terms of really 3D chess. And now what I want to see is that Z-axis that comes right through the middle. And now we have that charging network, right? That countrywide ability to charge your vehicle so that no matter where you are, you will eventually be able to get to access to be able to charge those batteries. Now, this isn't a pitch for Tesla as a car or as an investment. In full transparency, I don't drive a Tesla. And I own I'm just trying to think of the most accurate number, less than 300 total shares, maybe even less than 200. I don't know the exact number. But I want to share this because this is a great way to think about how a company is building, growing, and how that ecosystem continues to thrive, okay? It doesn't matter if you like this example. What's good to do is think about all the investments you're in a big way and decide, are you in it because they have one product that you love and think has a lot of potential? Or are you in it because you think they can be a major global player across multiple facets of the business? Now, conversely, you might say to yourself, look, there might be a better way. Maybe they shouldn't be doing the software. Maybe they shouldn't be doing the charging network. So you see that as a negative. Totally cool. But I still think it's worth building out that thesis, that total integration of the components of the business and what they can do. Now, yes, I know I'm ignoring many other areas of what Tesla's doing, including things like SpaceX and Boring Company that have some relations. And of course, we know Twitter and everything else. But just at its core, most obvious business to the average person who's looking for an investment. What I would love to understand is, in terms of how you think about your due diligence, number one, are you even doing due diligence? And if you are, how do you do it? How do you really dig in? right? If you don't work in the tech space, how do you accurately perform the due diligence on whether a product or a company is good or not? If you don't work in the food services industry, how do you know one restaurant versus another if they're good or bad from an investment perspective? I'd really love to get your thoughts on how you think about that, because I think one of the biggest challenges we have as retail investors is there's a lot of confidence, a lot of conviction, but based on articles, short videos, reading a 10K is great for financials, but it doesn't tell you the way they integrate their business amongst different holdings and go to market around it. A little quick piece here and there from a CEO is not always going to be enough. So how do you educate yourself to really go deep on that? How do you gain and gather that information and education to better learn? So that was a quick one. I just wanted to give you a quick stocking stuffer before Christmas hits here. This thing will be longer in the next 2 days. We'll see what I can do, but the hair on top's still staying relatively, except for the sides here, not so white. But I hope everyone's having a great day. I know it's a tough day today also, as far as much of the South in the US is getting pounded by very bad, very cold weather. So I hope everyone's doing really well, excuse me, and that you're really safe. So with that being said, happy holidays. Thanks for watching. Hope you got some value from it. And again, let me know how you handle due diligence, especially in instances where you maybe don't work in or have expertise firsthand with that industry. Team, thanks as always. Good talking to you. Have a good one.